Alright, you ready for your story, buddy? Today we're going to read Santa Comes to Oregon. Alright. Here's your little thing for you to... I know you like to chew on a towel. Here. That's clean water, not soapy. Alright, Santa's coming to Oregon. You ready for this, bud? On his very first Christmas to Ethan Michael. Being very good. Merry Christmas from Santa. Santa's coming to Oregon. Santa's coming to Oregon. Well, boomed Santa, have all the children from Oregon been good this year? Well, mostly, answered the little old elf, as he bustled across the busy workshop to Santa's desk. Santa peered down at the elf from behind the tall, teetering piles of letters that the children of Oregon had sent him. Mostly? Asked Santa, looking over the top of his glasses. Yeah, but they've all been especially good in the past few days, said the elf. Jolly good, haw haw haw, chuckled Santa. Then we'd better get their presents loaded up. Tried loading it up for me. Even though the sack of presents was really, really big, and the elves were really, really small, they seemed to have no trouble loading it onto Santa's sleigh. Though, how they managed to fit such a big sack onto one little sleigh, even they didn't know. But somehow they did. Splendid, boomed Santa. We're ready to go. Not quite, Santa, said the little old elf. One of our reindeer is missing. See the reindeer? Uh-oh. One of them's chains are off. Little bells, yeah. Missing? Which reindeer is missing? Asked Santa. The youngest one, Santa, said the elf. It's his first flight tonight. I've called him, but... Just then, a young reindeer strolled up, munching on a large carrot. Where have you been? Asked Santa. But the youngest reindeer was crunching so loudly that it was no wonder he hadn't heard the little old elf calling. Oh, well, never mind, said Santa, giving the reindeer a little wink. He took out his Santa nav and tapped in the coordinates for Oregon. This will guide us to Oregon in no time. Crunch, crunch, crunch. That's the little carrot and the reindeer. He's eating it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. With a flick of the reins and a jerk of the harness, off they went, racing through the sky. Ho, 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 laughed Santa. See, he's doing it right there. Yep. We'll soon have these presents delivered to the beaver state. He said it. It's in the book. Santa's sleigh flew through the starry night, headed south across the Arctic Ocean. On they flew in the wintry air, high above Canada. In the wink of an eye, the sleigh was flying over Vancouver and on past Seattle. The youngest reindeer was very excited. He had never been away from the North Pole before. See? There he is, and he's all excited right there. He's just like, doo. His little antlers are smaller than the other ones because the other ones are older, yeah. They were just nearing Mount Hood when suddenly they ran into a thick fog. Mist swirled around the sleigh. They couldn't see a thing. The youngest reindeer was getting a bit worried, but Santa didn't seem concerned. In 2 miles, said the Santa Nav in a bossy lady... Oh, in 2 miles, said the Santa Nav in a bossy lady's voice. Keep left at the next star. But ma'am, Santa blustered, I can't see any stars in all this fog. Soon they were hopelessly lost. They couldn't tell where they were, bud. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. Then, through the foggy blanket, the youngest reindeer heard a faint ringing sound, except it was real loud when Daddy said it. He looked over at the old reindeer with a red nose, but he had his head down. Red nose. I wonder who that could be. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. There was that sound again, like church bells ringing. The youngest reindeer turned around to look at Santa. But Santa wasn't listening. He seemed to be arguing with a little box with buttons on it. With a flick of the harness and a jerk of the reins, the youngest reindeer gave a sharp tug and headed off towards the sound of the bells, pulling Santa and his sleigh behind him. "Whoa!" cried Santa, pulling his hat straight. "What's going on?" Then to his surprise, he heard the ringing sound. Ding dong, ding dong. "Well done, young reindeer," he shouted cheerfully. "It must have been the bells of First Christian Church in Eugene. Don't worry, children, Santa is coming." Then suddenly, crunch! The sleigh hit something as it plummeted through the fog. "You have arrived," said the Santa Nav unhelpfully. Finally, when the fog had lifted, Santa discovered exactly where they were. Stuck right at the very top of a Christmas tree near the Eugene Public Library. "Everybody pull!" The reindeer pulled with all their might until at last, with a screeching noise, the sleigh scraped clear of the tree. Santa steered them safely over Coburg Road, above the Willamette River. Oh, and Ethan is peeing. You don't want to suck on that anymore. Hold on a minute. Let's just cup that up. Hold on a minute. Yeah, hold on. Okay. As they cleared above the Willamette River, past the Cuthbert Amphitheater and the Science Factory, and down the Alton Baker Park. Luckily, there was no real damage done, but the packages had all been jumbled up. Santa quickly sorted all the presents in order again. "All right," said Santa. "Thanks to this young reindeer, I don't know where we are now. Don't worry, children. Santa's coming." See? Little Santa right there. Hey, Santa's trying to look for everything. See him? Trying to find with his reindeer. They're lost. They don't know where they're at. So Santa drove his sleigh expertly from rooftop to rooftop all over Oregon, popping in and out of chimneys as fast as he could, which is pretty fast for a chubby fellow. It even says it right there. They were big chimneys in Portland and small chimneys in Corvallis. He squeezed down through chimneys in Salem and plummeted down fat chimneys in Medford. The youngest reindeer was amazed how quickly they went. Santa never seemed to get tired at all. And it looked like the children in Oregon were going to be very lucky this year. But the youngest reindeer was starting to feel a bit weary and quite hungry too. In house after house, Santa delved inside his sack for packages of every shape and size. He piled them under the Christmas trees and carefully filled up the stockings with surprises. In house after house, the good children of Oregon had left out a plate of cookies, a small glass of milk, and a big crunchy carrot. Santa took a little bite out of each cookie and a tiny sip of the milk, wiped his beard, and popped the carrots into his sack. From Gresham to Grants Pass, from Astoria to Ontario, from Beaverton to Bend, and all the places in between, Santa and his sleigh visited every house in Oregon. Santa delivered presents to Aiden, Ava, Brooklyn, Benjamin, Chloe, Caleb. The list went on and on. Yasmin, Xander, Zachary, Zybel, Ethan. Ethan. That's an awesome name. Finally, Santa had delivered the last present on his long Oregon list. "Great moons and stars," sighed Santa. "It's past midnight and my sack seems as heavy as ever. I hope I haven't forgotten anyone." Santa opened his sack to check, but it was full of juicy, crunchy carrots. Santa divided the carrots among all the reindeer. "Well done," he said, patting the youngest reindeer gently on the nose. But the youngest reindeer didn't hear him. He was too busy munching. Then it was time to send off for home. Santa reset his Santa Nav once more to the North Pole, and soon they were speeding above Crater Lake National Park and out over the Cascade Mountains through the crisp, starry night. "Ho, ho, ho!" laughed Santa. "Merry Christmas, Oregon!" And that was it. And that was it. Hope you liked it.